Okay guys, so the leaks for chapter 279 are out. It looks like we got about 9 images or so to go over, and man, these are some insane images to talk about. Because I mean, we got some brand new developments for the Tree of Cleopatra ritual, got some brand new threats, some very intimidating threats coming in to fight off against the captains, and on top of that, if you didn't already hate Morris for what he did back in the Diamond Kingdom to Mars and Fauna and all the other children there, it looks like this chapter is going to give us one more reason to hate him. Honestly, this chapter is looking like it's going to be a very interesting and incredible chapter to go over, and I cannot wait to jump into it. So let's just get right into the leaks. Okay, so before we get into the images, we do have a quick summary of what's going to be happening in the chapter to go over, which, by the way, now that I look at it, it does look like this summary is basically just going over what's going to be shown in the leaked images. Okay, so let's jump into the summary. Mario, who defeated the Majin, which I guess that's what they're calling the devil that she's been fighting since her reintroduction post the time skip, which actually does make sense because as far as I'm aware from other manga and anime I've seen, such as like Dragon Ball Z, they've called characters who are technically considered devils to be Majins. I believe that's like the Japanese word for devil. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do remember in other series that they have called characters who are supposed to be technically devils in that series or demons in that series Majin before, so that makes sense. Sally and Ralph join there, which the wording or the way the sentences are broken up on the summary is very bad. You can tell that the person who wrote this probably doesn't speak English as their first language, but we can still kind of glean what they're saying from here. And what they're saying right here is that Sally and Ralph join up with Mario Iona, and we actually do get to see that on the first image that we get for the leaks. And we also see that it's not only just, Sally, we can see multiple people along with Sally. So I'm guessing that means that Sally, Rades, Valtos, Ralph, and Seke and Maxa are all there meeting up with Mario Iona. So I'm wondering what's going to be going on with them going forward. Are they going to basically be kind of like some kind of unit going forward and try to find out some information? I really don't know exactly what Sally and her group are doing here. I mean, I understand why Ralph is there. He's there to basically kind of be the guide in the Space Kingdom and be like the liaison between them and the Space Kingdom Resistance. But what do the rest of them do? Like, what is the point of the rest of them being there? We haven't really figured out just yet exactly what's going to be going on with them. Alright, Nock feels relieved that the Magic Knights were stronger than they imagined when they heard the superiority of each room from Pumede, who I believe it says is a cat devil, which is a cool name, but I'm not going to put too much stock in it because we've seen translations be wrong on the names for these devils before. Like with with Gimodello, it was completely wrong. With Donkey Devil, it was wrong as well. So with Pumede, I'm not going to, continue calling the Cat Devil that. I'm just going to call him the Cat Devil until we get the chapter on Sunday. However, the Kleephoff tree grows explosively and covers the royal castle. When Nock, who united with the Cat Devil and becomes Mold Feliz, I'm not sure how you pronounce that, saw the Kleephoff advent with clairvoyance Amakage. Oh, so that's actually kind of interesting. So apparently Nock's Cat Devil ability is going to be able to like see into the future a little bit, or clairvoyance, or like be able to see far distances. That's actually kind of interesting. I mean, I don't really know that much about cats because I'm not really a cat person, so I don't know exactly what kind of characteristics they have besides being like hunters. So I had to do a little bit more research in order to kind of glean what kind of abilities Nock's Cat Devil will have. Morris appeared in addition to Yami and William. Okay, so that's interesting. So Morris, and we do see a few images of Morris. Like I said, we get like a brand new reason to hate him in this chapter. But it looks like Morris is going to have something to do with the whole ritual and basically pushing it forward or doing something with William Yami. The gate of the Neverworld is opened by Morris, who elucidated. I think that's how you say that word. I'm not exactly sure. I've never seen that word before. But I'm guessing that means basically rush or kind of like advance. How to still, oh no, I guess it means kind of like figured out. I'm not exactly sure what that word means. I'll have to do some research on that. How to still the omniscience. Is that even a word? Whatever, the omniscient of Lord Chica. I'm guessing that means basically like her, like based off the images that we get, I'm just gonna glean that means that he steals her like encyclopedia of knowledge that she said that she had from the previous queens of the Heart Kingdom, and accelerate the growth of Clepath by the magic evolved by the power of the devil. So I guess we can glean from this summary that Morris has devil magic now. He has like devil powers now, which is very interesting, and we'll get to that when we get back to the images again. Nock tries to eliminate Morris, but 2 top-class demons, or devils, I should say, appear in Dante's room. So yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said two very, very intimidating and powerful opponents show up to fight off against the captains. Now, the first image we get is the image of Mary Leona defeating her Majin or the devil and showing that Sally and them are meeting up with her. We can skip past that because that doesn't seem like it's going to really have any relevance for the chapter. But the very next image we get, the second image that was released and leaked out for the chapter, was the image of the two devils walking through the gate of the Tree of Clee path, which they look like they are twins, and it's hard to tell through the scan because it's very poor quality. But it looks like that it might be that one's a girl and one's a male. But again, it's hard to tell. Now, if you do any research on the Tree of Cleopatra, or as is better or easier to say, the Tree of Death, you would know that the first gate that is opened up is a gate of Damiel, which represents duality and when it comes to the devils. And the reason why it represents duality is because it is the only gate, as we saw from the breakdown that Noct gave us back in, I want to say, chapter 263. This is the gate that has two devils attached to it, and those two devils are Satan and Moloch. So more than likely, those are going to be the names, or at least some variation of those names are going to be the names that the body uses for these two devils who first show up in this chapter. Now, as far as it goes when it comes to their abilities, I cannot really hazard a guess as to what exactly those are going to end up being. All I know is that when it comes to Damiel, it's supposed to represent duality. Now, I don't know if that means that they're going to have both the same type of magic ability, and it's going to have something to do with the idea of duality, which, if it does, that'll be actually really interesting to see what kind of magic Tabata pulls out for it. But what I'm mostly interested in is finding out exactly how Jack and Noct are going to deal with these two devils on top of Dante. Because if you remember back in chapter 263, I believe, when Noct was going over the basically rundown of what's going on with the devils and the Tree of Cleopatra ritual, he mentioned that the first few devils, the upper level devils, were going to be around the same level of strength as the Dark Triad members. Which means that technically Jack should be able to defeat at least one of them solo, but we got three characters who are around the same level, and Jack could probably only fight one of them at a time. Because even though I do believe that now that Jack's enhanced his severing magic, he is at the level where he could possibly defeat Dante solo, it'll still be a hard fight for him to win, but I still think he actually could end up winning against Dante by himself. But when you have three characters all around the same power level, it becomes a much harder fight, especially since Noct is not going to be much help when it comes to defeating any of these characters. Because as we already know from the last chapter, Noct is not strong enough to defeat Dante. That's why he needed Jack to enhance his severing magic to the point where he could actually defeat Dante solo. The best he could really do is help defend Jack by using his Devil Union mode Equus, which is basically just there for defense, not really that much of a powerhouse. Or at the very least, he said in the last chapter that he couldn't defeat Dante with it. So it stands to reason that Jack is going to have to fight these three characters alone until the third member of their group, who I believe was, I want to say that was Nozel, who was the third member of their group, until he shows up and actually helps them out. Also, real quick before we head on to the next image, I do want to mention, again, if you do a little bit of research on the Tree of Death, you know that basically the next, in the order of gates being opened, the next gate should be the gate of, I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce this, Gohile, something like that. And that gate represents Beelzebub. And the next gate after that would be the gate of Saturel, which has the devil Lucifugge. So those should be the next two devils we see show up, which later on in the images, and I'm just going to go over this one now, we do get an image that shows Yuno and Charlotte both reacting to something in the rooms they're in. So I'm guessing that basically, just like how Dante in his room, we had the two devils show up through their first gate, then we're probably going to end up seeing through the other two rooms, the other two gates open up, and those two devils are going to show up to basically be opponents for Yuno and Charlotte to fight off against. Which that would mean that when Dorothy and Fugoyan end up showing up to the rooms, they will be doing a tag team against the Dark Triad members and against those devils. Now, getting into the next image, we get this really cool image of Morris without his glasses for the first time since his character's really been introduced, which was really only like 5 or so chapters ago, really. So it's not been that long, but we get to see that he is also a devil possessed, or at the very least he has devil powers, because he has the same mark that Dante has on his forehead, and we see that his eyes are just like pitch black. I mean, you could see the pupils are like a little bit light gray, but his eyes are pretty much just pitch black. And we see in this image that, yeah, it's confirmation that he does have some kind of devil powers. So I'm guessing that Lucifero is able to basically give his powers out to multiple people, have contracts with multiple people at once. I wonder if all devils can do that. If that is true, if all devils can do that, then I will give some credence to the theory that people have had for a while now that maybe Asta is now contracted to Gimodel because of the fact that Noct left him behind after they fought in the ritual circle. I still personally don't really believe that theory because of the fact that in order for Asta to use Gimodel's abilities, he would need to have mana, which he obviously doesn't. But if the idea that multiple devils, even the lower ranked ones like Gimodel and them, can have multiple contracts with multiple people, then I'll at least give some credence credence to the idea that maybe Asta is contracting now to Gimodel. Now, the next image we get, which speaking of Gimodel going to his master, we get this really cool badass look of what Nock is going to look like when he actually uses the Devil Union mode, which I believe was called Feliz, the Devil Union mode that he has with the Cat Devil. And it looks badass. It doesn't look as cool as the one that we have with Gimodel with the Hunter look, but this looks badass as shit. Okay, and then we got the image that I was talking about a little while ago, where basically we get to see, it starts off with Jack trying to attack Dante again, which I think this is going to be the beginning of the chapter, or at least right after we get the beginning portion with Meryl, Yona, and the rest of them, and continuing to fight with Jack. And we get to see, like I said, Yuno, Charlotte, and Noct. I didn't notice him in the first time, but Noct also reacting to what looks like the gates opening up. So we get to see the gate open up in the room with Dante. So I'm guessing that either in the chapter or in the next few chapters, we'll see the gates open up in the rooms that Charlotte and Yuno are in. And basically, that's when the devils will emerge there. And then the next image, just like the summary said, is the image we get of basically the Tree of Cleopath, or the Tree of Death, encompassing the entire royal castle, which looks kind of cool, but again, it's kind of hard to see the vines and everything that are covering the castle because of the poor quality scan of the image. But we do get to see Sally and the rest of them reacting to it, and Nock's doing something. I think this actually might be when Nock is basically reacting to the idea that the ritual is going further than he thought it did. And then we get the image of Nock basically using his clairvoyance with his Cat Devil ability, and we get to see the Tree of Cleopath basically ritual. I'm not exactly sure what we're looking at here. I'm not sure if this is basically supposed to be the spot where Yami and William are. It's a weird design that Tabata has going right here on this page. If you can figure out what this is supposed to look like or supposed to represent, let me know. Okay, and then the next image we have is the image of Morris in that like inner library world that we saw Robert Chica go into when she was fighting off against Vanica. So again, this is again confirmation that he stole that ability from Robert Chica, which I'm wondering, is this going to be something that he permanently keeps, or once they defeat him, would that go back to Robert Chica? Because I would hope that I like Robert Chica's character, so as a personal feeling for her character, I would prefer her not to really have to go through any more hardships and be able to keep her ability. But it would also add some kind of interest to the character that basically she has to start over from scratch. She doesn't have the knowledge or the like plethora of knowledge that the previous queens gave her anymore, that she basically had to start over with that kind of like knowledge passing on going forward for the next generation of queens. So again, that would be actually kind of interesting for a character, but at the same time, she's been through enough already. I kind of just don't want her to go through anymore. And then the last image I have here on this website is basically just Nock running to a certain area. I guess this is when he's going to try to stop Morris from activating the ritual any further. But I do want to point out that on Twitter, I did see one more image that wasn't on this website, and that was of Morris taking the library ability from Robert Chica. But yeah, guys, like I said, this chapter is going to be insane. We have so much development in this chapter alone. I mean, we got basically the continuation or the advancement of the ritual to the point where it looks like 3 of the gates are going to be opening at once, releasing 4 devils, 2 in Dante's room, 1 in Vanica's room, and then 1 in Zeno's room. Then we have finding out that Morris is contracted, or at least somehow being powered by Lucifero, giving him devil abilities, and he stole the library ability from Lord Chica, which again gives us even more of a reason, if we didn't already hate him for what he did in the Diamond Kingdom to Mars and Fauna, gives us even more reason to hate him because, I mean, he just messing with our girl Lord Chica again. We get to see the Devil Union mode that Nock has with his Cat Devil and what kind of ability that has. And keep in mind, this is only a few pages out of the leaks. We don't have every single page leaked right now, and it's supposed to be a 17-page chapter. So who knows what else we have not found out yet about the chapter. I'm sure we have the most exciting images already, but I am looking forward to reading the entire thing on Sunday. But that's it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about the leaks. I'd greatly appreciate it. And comment down below, or not comment, like and subscribe to the channel. Again, I would greatly appreciate it. Share with everyone that you can, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.